Alright, Colby, this is one of your throws at the Army trials. We'll look at a full speed and then we'll slow it down. Okay, let's go back. So Colby, right now we have a lot of tendencies that a novice thrower would have. There's nothing wrong with that, but that just means we have some room to grow. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to talk about the basics in throwing the discus, and we're going to go from there. Okay, so you did a standing throw at the front of the ring. There's nothing wrong with that. So let's talk about our technique. Okay, first off, in your winds, what we're doing is see how we're looking into the throwing area with our eyes. We want to prevent our upper body from going into the throw too early. It's all about letting the lower body create the force into the throw with the upper body following through. So it's a cascading event from the bottom here, going all the way through your knee, hip, then the upper body comes through. So what we need to focus on is focusing back to the back part of the ring. And what that does is that will square our shoulders here so that they're not so open into the throwing area, but rather square to the back of the ring. That's what we need. So focus back as long as possible. Now with that said, the discus is going to be rotating around our torso here. So what we want is to make sure that we have the maximum distance away from our body. And right now the discus arm is kind of down here. What we want is a high right arm. So we want a long radius away from our rotation point so that we can maximize the force of the discus coming out. So here's your final wind. Alright, and this really isn't too bad of a position. What we'd want more so is this discus to be farther back, with our shoulders farther back as well, here, with the lower body getting into the throw already. Right now there's just not that much separation and your arm's too low. Okay, see how your left leg's starting to straighten here on your left side? We've talked about this during the meet, this left arm is just kind of flying back and it's really loose. So what happens is the left arm should sweep across the throwing area. See how it's down here? It should be up here. Your left arm should be up there. And then what it's going to do is sweep through the throwing angle, the throwing path, and then you're going to pull it in nice and tight, stop its movement, and then transfer that weight to the right side. So you sweep, stretch the chest, create the block, then the right side comes around. Right here in the throw, see how it just kind of flies back and then it just keeps going. There's no transfer in force when that happens, so we need a tighter block in the upper body. And also what's going to happen here is that you're going to lean into the throw, so we're going to rise off our right foot. Our right foot is really our power foot, so we want to keep driving off that foot as long as possible. And what should happen is the drive of the right foot will actually lift the left foot off the ground first, rather than the right foot coming off the ground. Because once the right foot comes off the ground, we lose pretty much our power into the discus. And the angle of the discus here, you see now, going back to, now your arm's out nice and wide, which is good. We need to have it there from the beginning through the rotation, and then just keeping it there will prevent time spent raising it up there through the throw. And if you look at the hand position, if you use your thumb to push down on the shot put or the discus so that it has a natural angle going through the air, which is we're looking at around 38 degrees. That's what we want. See how it kind of releases here, and you don't really get any rotation on the discus either. So the last finger to go off the discus is your index finger, and what that does is it creates rotation on the discus as it goes out. And right from that view, it looks like we just kind of release it and it goes out. So we want it to rotate out of our hands with the last finger touching being our pointer finger to create a clockwise rotation as it rotates out of our hand. And then we stop here with the right just kind of hanging out there in our final position. What we want is to that right side just naturally follow through, naturally falling through the path, almost smacking yourself in the face with your bicep as you're coming around. So those are kind of the main points. Really the main areas we have to focus on are getting the lower body ahead of the throw first, driving off of that right leg, stronger outward reach with the discus here, stronger sweep with the left side, stronger block with the left side, and then release off the index finger and follow through with the right side. Okay, so we got some things to work on. We'll get there, and if you have any questions, just let me know.